This program is designed for you. From sources around the world and widely available on the internet, we've gathered together for you information and tips to help you improve your health. Now let's get started. Diabetic or not, sugar is not good for you. If you are a diabetic, having sugar will increase your blood sugar levels and your triglycerides. On top of that, sugar packs a lot of calories with no nutrient value. In fact, sugar robs your body of nutrients.
Yes, it is very hard to admit that I am the way I am because I ate so much sugar.
Amy would go on diets, thinking too much fat was the problem. But she just got fatter and sicker, battling headaches and nausea. It turned out fat wasn't the issue. Amy was eating way too much sugar for her body to handle.
When you took the fat out of food, it tasted like cardboard, so they had to replace it with something, and that was sugar. It gradually became the essential additive.
So now you have a product that's lower fat, lower saturated fat, and it's got a lot more sugar than it ever had.
Whole fat mayo, for example, has just over 2% sugar. The low-fat version has 6 times more.
While people know they should avoid sugar, one of the big problems with sugar is it has many different names and it is hidden where you least expect it. Let's begin by looking at the many different names for sugar.
It has a lot of aliases, and by a lot, we don't mean 5 or 6. Try 56. There's brown rice syrup, barley malt, demerara, Florida crystals, muscovado, and of course, high fructose corn syrup, sometimes called HFCS, or corn sugar. Even sugar's tricky nicknames have nicknames.
If people are eating sugary food or drinking sugary drinks, they are either not eating healthy food or they are adding all of the empty but densely packed sugar calories on top of the good food calories. Too many calories leads to being overweight, and for many, that leads to diabetes.
Yes, there's a book about it, but I'll tell you what the book says. It says don't eat sugar. Done.
David is a lawyer and says the evidence against sugar is compelling.
Sugar damages us in multiple ways. The first way is that it's converted immediately to fat by our liver.
I've got that part.
But it's only a bad thing if we're eating vast quantities of the stuff. There's a much more insidious effect which it has, which is it interferes with 2 of our appetite control hormones, the hormones that tell us to stop eating everything.
Yep.
So we have this substance that's directly turned into fat and gives our bodies permission to eat more of everything.
We've been told that cereals are often full of sugar, but healthier looking food can be worse.
Trouble is that when you turn it over and look at the fine print on the back, you see that it's 80% sugar. There's more sugar in that than there is in chocolate.
Unfortunately, food manufacturers do not make it easy to avoid sugar. In order to avoid the sugar traps, read labels and avoid processed food as much as possible.
And overall, what do you think is the role of government in all this?
You know, government is there. I empathize with Mayor Bloomberg, and I feel for people who feel, accuse him of being the nanny state. But in terms of soda, for example, and people have to realize the playing field is not level. You walk into the grocery store, and the companies are doing everything they can to get you to make spontaneous decisions, to get you to spend more time in the center of the store where the most loaded products are. And I think that's what Bloomberg is driving at. Plus, there's one huge number. $300 billion is the estimated cost of obesity in terms of medical expenses and lost productivity in this country. That's a colossal number.
And finally, Michael, what surprised you most as you were writing this book?
On a personal level, I was really surprised by how many of the food executives, the scientists, don't eat their own products, especially when they get into health trouble.
Thanks so much for watching. We look forward to sharing more information with you on our next video in the Focus on Diabetes series.